I have not talked about Unrivaled in a video specific to Unrivaled in quite some time. It's probably been 4 or 5 weeks, at least around there. I did talk about it in my live videos, but I haven't really done anything on ratings for Unrivaled, recaps of games. I'm sorry, I did the one video telling people to watch it when the Lunar Owls were going to play the Rose in the regular season. Um, but more than that, I really didn't talk about results or rating bombings and etc. I didn't really talk about the one-on-one or anything of that nature. I really toned it down when it came to Unrivaled after the first half. But I'm going to go out with a bang on Unrivaled for this Unrivaled premiere season, this first season of Unrivaled. Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Rudy's Rant, powered by Calling Out the Podcast, where we talk facts over feelings. I am your host, Rudy Rodriguez Showma, aka Rudy the Hammer. Welcome back to all of my loyal followers. I appreciate y'all. Leave a comment, like the video. For those of you who are new to the channel, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. Do have a merch store, so check it out if you're interested in merch. I do have some hats that I think are pretty dope. This is the Rudy's Rant one. You've probably seen the Facts Over Feelings one. There's Facts Over Feelings t-shirts. I'm gonna have another shirt come out. It's gonna be a special one that I think people will like as we go into the WNBA season. I also have combat corner stuff for martial arts. Those shirts are pretty dope. And of course, as you may know by now, if you join as a silver member, $4.99 per month, I will send you a free Rudy's Rant t-shirt. Just let me know that you signed up at $4.99 per month and send me your mailing address to my email, come on now, the podcast at gmail.com. And I will send over that t-shirt to you. Should be getting them in the next week or so. But yeah. And also one more thing, March Madness brackets, they are up on the community posts. If you want to jump in on the brackets, $5 a bracket. Hit the link. The code is 2024 and men's and women's. So I think the deadline for men will be like 11:30 or so Thursday. Women's will be probably Friday around the same time. So don't miss it if you want to jump in on that. Let's talk about Unrivaled. Interesting year for Unrivaled. Interesting year. Look, you knew it was going to have bumps. There's nothing that you do the first time that will not have bumps in the road. I mean, any firsts in life, any firsts are going to have their pitfalls. It's about managing those pitfalls and issues that you try to, so you don't keep on making those same mistakes. Like if you have kids, you're going to make all your mistakes on your first kid. Trust me, I know. I'm a first child. I know the mistakes that my parents made. They've acknowledged the mistakes that they made with me, that they corrected with my sister. The way she was raised was way different than how I was, even though we're only 4 years apart. There's little things that you do differently. Of course, she's also a girl, or a woman now, but there's things that you do differently with your kids after you like, you know what, that probably wasn't the best idea. And I lived it myself with my first son. I like my second one, I kind of, did it. And now I'm on a third one. And yeah, I'm old, man. So, but I really made I did a lot of things different with my second son that I didn't do with my first. And, you know, um, you live and you learn. I expected there to be struggles with Unrivaled. But my biggest problem that you had with Unrivaled was that they would lie about everything. Everything was a lie. Like you could sit here, you can go back and you could look at the things they posted. There was lie after lie after lie after lie. They didn't add 6 players to the roster because they got more money. They added 6 players to the roster, 6 more players to the talent roster because they were trying to lure Caitlin Clark in. Fact, we all know it. And when they couldn't, they offered Sabrina Ionescu a bank, and she came over and she used them and abused them, and then she walked away with 3 games left on the schedule. Now, and she missed 2 other games during the season. And yeah, you can say, oh, she had a tour, a planned tour. I've seen the video. She's playing basketball with high school kids at a camp. Like, come on, you could have pushed that. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. You have injury upon injury upon injury that you clearly didn't prepare for because it's a different type of game. You don't have these women are not in shape. They were not prepared. You have TV situations in which you're putting games on saying they're an hour long, but they were always taking 90 minutes. You get allowed 6 fouls. You never fixed that. That should have been reduced to 3. You would have seen a much more free flowing game and a lot less tackle football out there. And you would have had a much better product. You would have had a much better product. Watching a game be 63-57 and watching teams shoot 35% is not exactly good basketball. I don't care what anyone wants to say or claim, it's not good basketball to shoot 35% from the field. The championship game was 62-54, and one of the two teams shot 35.2% from the field. It's not bad. That's not good ball. It's not good ball. So you look at these different things, and this was happening a lot in many of these games. I mean, even the game before it was a 63-57 game, and again you had teams shooting. Oh man, I mean they shot better in this game. It was just a slow game. It's a slow game. So yeah, that actually surprises me there. I didn't realize they shot pretty decent for that score being that low. Here's another game right here. I'm just looking back. 31.6% from the field. There's a lot of games that were like this, and that's just not good ball. 38.1% from the field. You get rid of the 6 fouls, you make it 3, you make it 4 max, and you will have a much more free flowing game. That is something they could have fixed after week 2. They didn't do it. But at the end of the day, they then had to add more players because players were dropping like flies. It was a clusterfuck. Like bluntly, it was a clusterfuck. It was generally pretty awful basketball. They didn't promote it well. Nobody watched it. Despite what anyone wants to feed you, despite whatever graphics TNT wants to throw out there, I'm not even going to entertain the graphics. I don't need to entertain the graphics because the graphics are obviously designed to make you think something. It's just what they are. They're designed to make you think something is not like it's to convince you that what your eyes saw and what you read and all these different things are not true. And what they're telling you is the truth. Consider this fact. Consider this fact. The second most popular player in the WNBA, and I'm not calling out Angel Reese just to call out Angel Reese. I'm calling out Angel Reese because she has a fan base that will sit here and tell you that they support her through thick and thin, that they will watch all of her games. Understand this, people. If you watch a game on a digital platform, everything is digital. They can track it all. It doesn't matter if you watched it the day of the game or the night or later that night on a recording or the next day. It does not matter. There's a reason the ratings take 2-3 days to come out because you're not going to have the game on Saturday and then watch it on Thursday of the next week. In fact, most people don't even want to know what the result was, so they'll avoid the result to then watch it. That's how normal people who enjoy sports do things. They don't want to know the result. They want to watch it as if they're watching it live. At least that's how I've always been, and I'm a normal sports person. So, and most people I know who are in sports say, "Oh, no, don't tell me who won. Don't tell me who won. I want to be surprised." The only benefit of the recording is that I can fast forward through the commercials and fast forward through the halftime. But the fact of the matter is this: Angel Reese had the 2 lowest rated games of the year, doing under 100,000 viewers. These are facts. There was an 89,000 and a 76,000 or 78,000. Those were the numbers. And now you had a championship game for which her team was in the game. Her team was in the game. They had a magical win the night before. Chelsea Gray went crazy. And what happened? They won. They got to the title. The Lunar Owls lost, choked their asses off. So the Rose were then expected to win the championship, and they did. Kudos, congratulations, all that good stuff. And Angel Reese wasn't there. And Angel Reese wasn't there. Explain to me how you're on the team and you left town the day of the game and you're not at the championship game. Are you? How in the world could the Unrivaled people allow that? If she had been healthy to play, would she have left? Don't tell me. I don't know why she left. I don't know why. I can only speculate that the Chicago Sky wanted her to come back to Chicago to have her wrist looked at. That's my only speculation and thought. Because guess what? You're in Miami. There's enough hospitals that she could have gone to the hospital to have her wrist looked at. Oh, I'm sorry. This happened a week ago. She could have gone to the hospital in Chicago, had it looked at, and flown the fuck back to be here for the semifinal, and then the championship game. I don't know why. I'm speculating. I don't know. But again, what if you were healthy? Were you going to not be at the championship if you were healthy? I don't understand it. And Unrivaled allowed this shit. Unrivaled should be sitting here saying, "Where are you going, Angel?" No, they don't. They say nothing. They let her go. I think it speaks volumes about her. You guys don't like it, but it does. I mean, guys who love her, it speaks volumes about her. It speaks volumes about the me first mentality. I don't give a shit what you say. There's no way in hell that if my team is playing in a championship and I'm on the team, that I'm leaving the night of the championship and not going to be at the game. No way in hell. No way in hell. No way in hell. You know, here, let me show you. This is what makes it so damn bad. This is what makes it so damn bad. Is that it's such a joke. They made a joke about it. Look at this. Where is this? They made a joke about it. They got it right here on the left. Look at the hat, how scrunched down the hat is. She wasn't there. They put her picture on it. Haters will say Angel is an edit. Yes, she was an edit. And they're just admin of the year goes to I'm crying. Angel was there the whole time. Duh. Here, look at the next one. This is in the room with the bottle. Fuck out of here, man. Y'all find that funny. I find that pathetic. But hey, the people that are her fans, I mean, you look at this. You can read the comments. They're a joke. No one there is saying, where the fuck were you? Why not? Why aren't you calling this to the carpet? Why aren't you calling out Unrivaled and saying, what are you guys doing? You don't think people wanted to hear Angel Reese speak after the game, regardless of playing? And don't get me started with the commentary after, because that's a different topic for a different day, which I already talked about last night. Don't really care about that. But Unrivaled made mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake. Their most viewed games were the first weekend of the week, the first weekend of the year. After that, it went like this. And you know when the most watched of the year was? The one-on-one tournament championship. The fact that your championship game was watched less, and I don't mean a little bit less, I mean it wasn't close. The championship game was watched by 260,000 people. 260,000 people. Now, that's one of their higher rated games, but that did 100,000 plus less than the one-on-one championship between Nafisa Collier and Aaliyah Edwards. You cannot make this bullshit up. Your one-on-one gimmick did better than your actual games. Your highest rated thing was a gimmick of a gimmick. And if you look at the stuff that was on that night, the Miami Heat and New York Knicks on ESPN did 1.19 million. Think about the fact that the Miami Heat fucking suck right now. TGL Golf, LA versus, I don't even know what that is. It's obviously golf. There's team golf? I didn't even know. 320,000. American Dad. What the hell is American Dad? That's a cartoon. Oh my God. That's a cartoon. On TBS did 320,000. The spring baking championship on the Food Network did 700,000. And Unrivaled did 260. That's on cable. Let me tell you what happened on regular TV. The Voice did 5.24 million. Trivia Pursuit on the CW did 300,000. People were watching a game show. You want to know what's even funnier? It was a repeat. Papa's House. I don't even know what Papa's House is. Like, this is how much TV I don't watch now. That's not sports related because TV's become terrible. Okay, that's Damon Wayans and his son. Okay. That did 2.53 million. That was a rerun. NCIS at 9, 3.05 million, a rerun. NCI Origins at 10 on CBS, 2.28 million, a rerun. Reruns of TV shows did more by 10 times or more than Unrivaled did. Reruns. People watch the repeat over watching Unrivaled. A repeat. Now we can get into Sunday's game. For some reason, the Lunar Owls game versus the Vinyl doesn't have a listing for a rating. I don't know why. I do not know why. And what makes it odd to me is that, as far as I recall, that was the second game. That was the second game of the night. The first game has a ratings number with the Laces and the Rose. And that game did, on two separate channels, 170,000 on TNT and 60,000 on True TV for a grand total of 230,000 viewers. The same night, I don't even know what the Righteous Gemstones is, but that has a rating of, I don't know what this crap is. Is this a movie? I don't even know. I don't know what that is. 260,000 on HBO. I don't know what Dark Winds is, 830,000. The Baldwins on TLC. Again, don't know what that is either. That is, Alec Baldwin. Oh, okay. 470,000. Like, I want to give you something to put in perspective. The NCAA Women's Basketball Selection Show on ESPN did 1.65 million viewers. College women's basketball, a selection show, not a game, selection show, did 8 times what the Laces and Rose did. So I can only imagine that the Lunar Owls and Vinyl did worse because there's no ratings for it. And I've gone through 2 separate ratings, and that was the late game. So where did those ratings go? I don't know. This is a certifiable train wreck. Look at this. What the hell is Extracted? That was on Fox. at 7 o'clock. I don't even know what that is. Again, that did 250,000. That did more than this. Whose line is it anyway? Did 240,000 on CW. CW shows were doing better than Unrivaled, bro. CW shows. Family Guy. Like, this is garbage TV. And they're going to come back and they're going to tell you it was amazing. It was amazing. Understand that the average Unrivaled weekend did probably about 170 a night times 3, 510. So it took them 5 weeks to equal what Caitlin Clark and Indiana did versus Connecticut in the playoffs. It took half the season for them to have the ratings of one game in the playoffs for Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever versus Connecticut Sun. There's a reason they were begging her to play. And they can sit here and tell you they had money. No, it wasn't money. It had nothing to do with money. It had to do with the fact they were begging this woman to play because they knew that she was the difference maker. She was the X factor. She was the difference of making their season spectacular or making it embarrassing. She was it, which is why they added 6 players, hoping to bring her in. There's a lack of professionalism that exists within Unrivaled. They can sit here and deny. You have commentators that are acting like friends, commentators that are acting like coaches, commentators acting like they're trainers, commentators trying to defend them. A desk in Atlanta where you have a complete buffoon in Renee Montgomery, who, Lord have mercy, just, I mean, she is the pinnacle of embarrassing. She's the pinnacle of it. You're having awards for the best dressed bullshit. Don't even get me into the awards thing. That I don't even care about. I don't even care about that. I don't agree with stuff, but I don't care enough to talk about it. But you're going to sit here and tell us that it was amazing. Let's take another look at something else. Remember, this has been going on for almost for 2 months. I'm trying to find it. Of course, can't find it. Unrivaled Basketball. Unrivaled Basketball has been on TNT now for how many weeks? For over 2 months. They got 29,500 subscribers as a YouTube channel. I mean, the failure, the floppery of this shit. Inviting gang member rappers to their event. Someone has to clue me in on that one. Gang members, literally on trial for RICO violations, like a snitch, a snitch gang member who's a rapper. You're inviting him to your event? This shit's a circus. The shit was a circus. And they're going to do it again next year because TNT sunk in way too much money into this thing. And they're going to spend the next 12 months, 10 months, trying to convince Caitlin Clark to play in it. And Caitlin Clark should give them a double middle finger because she doesn't need it. In fact, I would tell and recommend to most of the players who make money to say, fuck no, it's not worth it. I'm going to tell you right now, Angel Reese fucked her wrist up again. Don't know what's going to happen there. Don't know what is going to happen there. She fucked her wrist up literally a week ago. People can say, "Oh, it was fake." No, she fucked her wrist up. I watched. I watched when it happened. She fucked her wrist up. Something happened, and her wrist was not right, and no one talked about it for a week. I thought about talking about it, but I saw no reports on it from anything media related, so I didn't touch it because I didn't know. And being that they don't give you credentials to ask questions, I stayed away from it. The fact that I asked for a credential 6 weeks ago and they never responded in 6 weeks just tells me what they are. They had an AP story. Apparently, they did invite the Miami Herald writer was there. Maybe he was there. I'm not sure. But there was an article in the Miami Herald about it after the championship game, and it covered both nights. The story was about both nights. So my guess is he probably took quotes that he heard on a press conference and wrote a story, a condensed story on both nights, because they had no media for how long? The ESPN story was done by the AP, which means it might have been done by watching television. I know people that write for the AP, and I know people have done stuff for the AP by watching a game on TV and watching a press conference from TV or the internet. It's done all the time. But Unrivaled basketball, you can sit here and you can say that it was great. It was not great. It was awful for most of the time. There were a few good games. Overall, it was a train wreck of dog shit. And their ratings were atrocious. And TNT is going to risk their shirt again next year. And I tell you right now, if it doesn't change greatly, it's going to be the same shit and it'll be the end of Unrivaled. I don't care what they say right now. TNT is not the NBA, man. TNT is not in the business of charity. They thought that there was some real momentum in women's basketball. College Women's Selection Sunday did 1.65 million viewers. College women's basketball is still far more appealing to people than women's professional ball, whether it's the WNBA or Unrivaled. And if you want to be real, the Final Four will outdraw any game that Caitlin Clark had this year in the WNBA, this past year. And probably this coming year, unless they make the championship, and then you'll see the numbers explode. They make the finals, and then the numbers might explode. I'm glad I don't got to watch any more of that shit to talk about it anymore. I didn't talk about ratings. I talked about individual players because I did want to give credit where it was due to individual players. I did think Angel Reese got better and better as it went on. I think Chelsea Gray was fantastic. I thought that Rose Lunar Owls thing would have been fabulous. Now I'll tell you this: if it had been the Rose Lunar Owls but Angel Reese ain't playing, it would have been like, who cares? Like the whole enjoyment of it was watching these two women battle each other. You know, watching the Rose vinyl game, please. That shit was awful. That shit was terrible. But those are my thoughts. The ratings were atrocious. They get outdrawn by bullcrap on TV. I mean, everything outdrew that shit. About the only thing that they ever drew more than was the Wizards of Waverly Place occasionally on Disney. You let me know your thoughts. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate y'all. Leave a comment. This is Rudy's Rant. Facts over feelings. Come on now.